Linguistic determinism is the concept that language and its structures limit and determine human knowledge or thoughts. This theory proposes that the language we speak determines our thought processes. You have different thoughts than someone who speaks a different language from you, even if they live down the street from you or grew up in the same environment as you. The Sapir-Whorf theory is a hypothesis that proposes a person's native language restricts their ability to think about certain concepts. It was first introduced in 1929 and states that language tells us how to think about and respond to reality. It also tells us that all thought processes are influenced by the language that we use. While I was researching linguistic determinism, I came across multiple quotes that I thought represented it well. The first one being, if one accepts the thoughts that we construct are based on the language that we speak and the words that we use, then it follows the idea that the language we speak influences the way that we think. This is the rawest form of linguistic determinism, and it is widely debated whether or not this is true. The second quote that I came across says, with regard to the relationship between language and thought, there are three main viewpoints. The first being a group of scholars representing the Sapir-Whorf theory. It supports linguistic determinism. But some of the scholars, however, believe that language and thoughts are mutually independent. These scholars believe that it is mutually independent because the idea and thought center of your brain is different from the language part of your brain, and they don't believe that they are connected. However, the people who support the Sapir-Whorf theory believe that there is some sort of connection between the two. I was watching a TED Talk that discussed how language affects our thoughts, and it said, for example, there is a word for blue that covers all the colors shown on screen, but in Russian there isn't a single word. Instead, Russians must determine between light and dark blue. If linguistic determinism was true, it would say that Russians perceive blue differently than the rest of the world who don't have to determine whether it's light or dark, it's just the color blue. The same goes for how Greeks feel love. Greeks have multiple words for love, while the English speaker has one. Finally, the Inuit people have many words for snow, saying that their culture appreciates snow more than English because they have multiple words for it. However, this isn't true to the English speaker. The final quote that I have says, we want to ask ourselves, in what ways and to what extent can we empirically say that because a man uses language A, his native language, he therefore will think differently than those who speak languages B and C? To answer this question, many experiments failed to prove linguistic determinism, and linguistic determinism is no longer widely accepted. Linguistic determinism has a close relative called linguistic relativism, and it shows that language influences but does not define our thoughts. Although linguistic determinism isn't widely accepted, it is still an important concept to understand. Linguistic determinism shows how the languages we speak influence the way we view the world. Thank you.